Welcome to Card Corner. These are the cards. That's the corner. Today I've got these Hanna-Barbera Flintstones trading cards to open for you guys. They are by Cardz and they are from 1982. So I guess I'm hoping to get some character cards if they got them. I did used to watch the Flintstones when I was a kid, but it's been a while since I've seen it. But I did, I believe, watch it quite a bit. All right, first up we've got looks like some Bedrock Racers. The resolution isn't great. Kind of like that picture though. The Indian Rockolis 500. All right. After Barney builds a race car, Fred convinces him to enter in the Indian Rockolis 500 in hopes of winning the $50,000 prize. Posing as Goggles Paisano, foreign driver, Fred wows the crowd with his driving feats until his wheels begin chipping off. Adding insult to injury, Mr. Slate fires Fred for taking off work to enter the race. All seems lost until Flint Rock Wheels pays Fred and Barney $5,000 for a TV commercial. Realizing he can capitalize on the publicity, Mr. Slate immediately gives Fred his old job back. Wow, they spoiled the full episode. All right, here we've got those some troll guys. I feel like I've seen them before, but I can't think of their name right now. Print quality on this one is quite bad too. The Gruesomes. The Flintstones find themselves with new neighbors when the Gruesomes move into Tombstone Manor next door. Weirdly, Creepella and their son Gobby look pretty strange, but appearances aside, Fred and Wilma are determined to be good neighbors. But when Fred and Barney babysit little Gobby and his weird pets, Fred is ready to move away. But then he discovers that the Gruesomes have their own TV show, and Fred's delighted to be living next to celebrities. So I wonder if they got their own Hanna-Barbera show. I do remember I downloaded a big torrent of all the Hanna-Barbera shows, and a lot of them were Scooby-Doo blatant ripoffs. There's a team of kids solving mysteries with some weird animal and or robot. Got a huge meat cleaver there. Gonna chop up the boys. A haunted house is not a home. In order to inherit the estate of his rich late uncle, J. Giggles Flintstone, Fred must spend a night in his scary mansion. Buddy Barney agrees to join Fred, and they spend a terror-filled evening being scared by three servants. Come morning, Uncle Giggles shows up, very much alive, and tells Fred that it was only a test to see if he'd make a worthy heir. Fred, unamused by the heir-raising night he spent in the mansion, angrily chases his uncle and ruins any chance at inheriting the estate. I do not remember that episode. I don't remember any of these they've done so far. All right, here we got Pebbles and a small Fred in bed. Itty bitty Fred. Fred comes up with a fantastic formula for weight reduction. To prove its power, he drinks some himself and he shrinks to a tiny size. Barney sees the entertainment value of the situation and gets the guys a gig on the Ed Sullystone show as a ventriloquist act. Guess who's the dummy? But the formula wears off and Fred grows back to his full size in front of a live TV audience. All right, next up we have it is a coloring card for Who's It. Don't remember that character. Who is this? Where is she from? And which episode did she appear? It is Chipsy. She's from the circus and episode number 93. I wonder if there's anyone that actually knew the answer to that. All right, here we got, it looks like what do you call it? Like the comic book cover? Bah, that's what we get for being superstitious. We wish for a baby, and all we get is a baby. Bam Bam, Barney, and Betty's bouncing baby boy is introduced in the Flintstones comic from 1964. Also featured is the Great Stone Age Hot Rod Race, in which Fred enters an auto race with his nephew Rodney. All right, here is, I think, the best card so far. It is the Flintstone family portrait. Got Dino in the back there. Looks like they're going on vacation or something. The Flintstones. The Flintstones cartoon series, which ran from 1960 to 1966, was the first and longest running animated situation comedy seen on prime time. The Flintstones in the story is the story of Fred, Wilma, and Pebbles Flintstone, Dino, their pet, and next door neighbors Barney, Betty, and their adopted son Bam Bam Rubble. The two families share everyday problems, ambitions, and frustrations, similar to those that confront any modern family. There is, however, one major difference. They live in the Stone Age. The Flintstones enjoy all the advantages of modern day living in typical caveman fashion, as they reside in a split level cave and drive a convertible with a thatched roof. So they got some animal to do everything. That is definitely the best card so far. And the last one is, looks like Giant Pebbles getting married. Preparations. Getting that wedding dress fitted is one chore that Pebbles enjoys, especially with Grandma there to make things perfect. Fun fact, the future finances were once contestants in a the future fiancés were once contestants in a beautiful baby contest. After the parents were at each other's throats over who had the cutest kid, Pebbles and Bam Bam crawled away, leaving the parents between a rock and a hard place. So this is after Pebbles and Bam Bam get older. I feel like usually that spells the doom of a TV show. Like the Rugrats, when they got older, I don't think they were quite the same. Oh man. There we go. Alright, right off the bat I can see that our last card was that same one. So if you want to trade me for one of these Pebbles getting measured for a wedding dress cards, the information on how to do that is on the About page of the YouTube channel. Alright. Is this supposed to be like a celebrity from a TV show? Yes, Samantha from Bewitched. Samantha and Darren Stevens of the television show Bewitched move across the street from the Flintstones. At the same time, Fred and Barney have gone camping without the girls. Wilma and Betty decide to get even with the help of Samantha's twitching nose witchery. Camped next to their husbands, Wilma and Betty outdo Fred and Barney in everything from raising tents to fishing and give the guys a lesson in Stone Age survival they will never forget. Looks like they're going to get eaten. All right, Samantha from Bewitched on the Flintstones. All right, next it looks like a Wild West Flintstone episode, Sheriff for a Day. The West could not get any wilder when the Flintstones and Rubbles meet up with the Sheriff Crag of Rocky Gulch. Braggart Fred boasts how he once bested 5 desperados in an attempt to avoid the Slaterly brothers, bad to the bones desperados. The fearful Crag makes Fred sheriff. He makes Fred sheriff. Fred tries to save himself and Rocky Gulch from the bad guys, but he and Deputy Barney can't do it alone. Luckily, those famous Western TV stars, the Cart Rocks from Bonanza, arrive in the nick of time. Guys from Bonanza? I don't remember there being like celebrity cameos, but When I watched the Flintstones, I also didn't know any of these celebrities. All right, here is that same one of the weird neighbors. All right, here is, I think this is like their equivalent of Dino, some like weird kangaroo dinosaur. Hop Happy. The rebels decide that it's time for Bam Bam to have a pet, and they decide on Hopperoo, a Stone Age kangaroo. Neighbor Fred is not too thrilled with the creature, but when Hoppy and Dino save the day at a picnic, Fred admits he might have jumped the gun about Bam Bam's new pet. I think it's funny. It's just like a dinosaur kangaroo. Oh, nice. And look what we have here. It is a foil. Pretty cool looking foil of Fred playing baseball. Nice. It's a pretty good one. Fred looks like he's swinging for the fences, but Dino's tricky tail toss is Dino might. Whenever they're not getting into trouble, Fred and Barney are getting into sports. Whether they're sneaking away to go bowling, playing a round of prehistoric golf, or even being baseball coaches, the guys are full-fledged sports fanatics. Nice. I think we've often seen packs say that they got a chance at a foil, but I don't think we've gotten one yet. That's pretty cool. So what were the odds? I don't know if it says that there. Oh. All right, and here we get another comic book. This one is Pebbles, the Flintstones' Pride and Joy, is introduced in this classic comic book. Since nurses are too expensive, Fred's overbearing mother-in-law moves in and starts barking orders for quiet so Wilma may rest after returning home from the hospital. When Fred decides to enter Pebbles in a most beautiful baby in bedrock contest, the chaos really begins. He enters her in a baby contest like right when she's born. Give it a few months, Fred. All right, our last card from that pack is The New Fred and Barney Show. Not sure if I ever saw that one. Some witch in the background there. So The New Fred and Barney Show was on in 1979. In February of 1979, the focus was back on Fred and Barney when NBC premiered this spin-off where the theme switched from music to comedy / mystery. That fall, Fred and Barney Meet the Thing expanded the show to 1 hour, which featured 2 segments of rock like superhuman. Of what? That fall, Fred and Barney Meet the Thing expanded the show to 1 hour, which featured 2 segments of a rock like superhuman. In December, high ratings caused NBC to expand once again to 90 minutes, titled Fred and Barney Meet the Shmoo, by adding a comedy mystery series which debuted separately in fall 1979. I think that an hour is too long. All right, we got one more pack here. I think it's going to be hard for us to top this holographic card we got there, but we'll check it out anyway. All right, here we've got Fred with a mustache. Wilma wishes she had a dashing Italian charmer like Roberto Roccolini as a husband and sets out to remake Fred in his image. Soon Fred's Yabba Dabba Doo has a distinctly continental accent. When other women find the new improved Fred irresistible, Wilma realizes that plain old Fred is the caveman of her dreams. Got a little of the ink rubbing off there. All right, here is Fred as a chef, also with a mustache. Trouble in Law. When Fred looks for a way out when he thinks his mother-in-law has moved in. As usual, Fred has a plan. Get the old battle axe a rich husband. A Stone Age Texan seems to fit the bill, but when Wilma suspects he may be a notorious Jiggle, Gigolo who preys on lonely widows. Fred realizes his plan's not all it was cracked up to be. Man, this was like a kid's show when I grew up. I guess it was more of like their equivalent of Friends or whatever. Here's Fred and Wilma at the drive-in there. Fred strikes out. After continually forgetting their wedding anniversary, Fred is determined to show Wilma that he is as romantic as the next caveman. But when their date at the movies happens to fall on the same night as a water buffalo bowling tournament, the ever resourceful Fred tries to be in two places at one time. As usual, he strikes out. That is a classic sitcom premise, being in two places at once. All right, here we've got Fred and some lady at dinner. With Wilma out of town, Fred decides to be a nice husband and get the little woman a few wife-saver appliances. To earn the extra money he needs, he volunteers for extra duty at the office, which translates to taking an important lady buyer out to dinner. Wilma arrives back in Bedrock early and finds Fred entertaining the woman client at the romantic Copa Cave. Fred needs some fancy footwork to get out of this one. Is he in the bed? What? I don't like. It's a little heavy for a cartoon. All right, we got another coloring card here. It's what's it? It looks like it's the stroller. What is this? A baby buggy. Who is this? Whose was this? Pebbles. What is it made out of? A turtle shell and a rock. It's probably the worst card we've gotten so far. All right, we got Hanna-Barbera Flintstones Meet the Gruesomes. Looks like it's the comic book version of that other one we saw. I collect odd little tidbits, Mr. Flintstone. This is my carrot slicer. Little guillotine. Cute. Fred and Wilma meet the weirdest family in Bedrock in this 1965 comic book entitled The Flintstones Meet the Gruesomes. Strange habits and even stranger pets enable the Gruesomes to live up to their name. I've never read a comic book for the Flintstones. All right, and we got a Flintstones Christmas as our next card. This one is... So some of these are like the ones that are like clips from the old TV show are all like pretty crappy quality, but some of them are pretty good. Like this one has a pretty sharp image. Flintstone Christmas. Maybe I'll sleeve this one up and tuck it in the Christmas tree this year. Fred's part-time job as Santa turns into the real thing when old St. Nick falls off a roof and sprains his ankle. So that the children of the world will not be disappointed, Fred substitutes for Santa and Buddy Barney comes along on the journey as an elf. Even though the trip makes him late for the company Christmas party, Fred saves Christmas for everyone. Mrs. Corner will like that one. All right, and we got one last one, and it looks like it is Bam Bam and Pebbles getting married. Dino is the ring bearer. Dino as ring bearer. Even at the wedding, Pebbles' favorite pet Dino gets into the act. Fun fact, in their pre-teens, the relationship between Pebbles and Bam Bam gets a little rocky when they're on rival baseball teams coached by Fred and Barney. Before Bedrock breaks out into baseball bedlam, cooler heads prevail and the future lovebirds are safe at the plate. See, I don't get that one. But that's our last card. I think that this one is definitely one that I'm going to hang on to. These foils, I like the effect. Gives a nice 3D effect there. I also really like this one of the family there. Let me know which one you prefer in the comments. Like this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed already. This was the Flintstones. Take it easy.